Welcome to Nightmares Before Bed, a supernatural podcast where each show will explore dark and mysterious places, eerie creatures, and all things spooky and creepy. And speaking of spooky and creepy, please help me welcome your hosts Jonathan Rosen and Troy Cannon.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Nightmares Before Bed. I'm your host, Jonathan Rosen, along with my co-host, Troy Cannon. And today, but let's go. First of all, how are you today? First, so
Not bad. I'm not bad. I got those PRP shots in my plasma-rich shots in my shoulder, and for the first time in almost 3 years, I don't have any pain in my shoulder.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
so that's great because the guy
No,
was like, yeah, it's like a 98% chance that the pain will go away, and I was like, that's what the
oh,
last guy told
fantastic.
me. But
Well,
yeah, I feel good.
well,
Worked
you might
out for
not
the
feel so
first
good in a
time.
second when we do this. So, well, let's go. Legend we're going to talk about today. Then I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I think I am. Is Kuchisake-onna. Okay, it's a legend from Japan. This is our second Japan one, by the way. So,
Yeah.
so it's a legend from Japan. The legend goes, and this is a creepy one. The legend goes that it's called the Slit-mouthed woman, first of all, but it's this beautiful woman that will, go over to you, usually dark or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to, but it's usually all the stories that I read. It's like this dark place, and she asks you if you think she's beautiful. And if you say yes, there's no, first of all, this is one of those things that there's no right answer. We're going to see in a second. If you say yes, she's wearing a mask. I forgot that part. Yeah, she's wearing a surgical mask around her, something like some sort of mask covering her face. And just, from here, like the nose down or from the eyes down, you think she's beautiful. So you say yes. So, and she takes off the mask and she has these like Joker like slits along the mouth, like, cut up mouth. She says, "How about now?" And according to the legend that I read, it doesn't matter which way you answer. You say yes, she'll kill you. If you say no, she'll kill you, or she'll like cut up your face also to look like her. So there's no right answer for this almost. The only thing that I read is that possible that can save you from this is if you give like a nondescript answer, like kind of like you're okay, or so, but because she doesn't know
We
which
had
way to
better.
go. Exactly. So that's the only thing. So, uh, what did you know about this legend beforehand?
This is like something else we talked about. With the melon heads. I knew of the legend without actually knowing the origin of the legend. With the melon heads, I knew about the hills have eyes, but I
Right.
didn't connect it. I'd never heard about the melon heads. With this one, she's mentioned in the movie The Ring. They mention her,
I've never seen
and
that, so yeah,
she's.
okay.
You've never seen The Ring? Okay,
No.
yeah, that's a good one. Um, She's also mentioned in there's a an anime called Psycho 100, and she's mentioned in that. She also appears in an anime called Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was going to wear the shirt. I got the shirt in the other room. I should have wore the shirt. And she's also in an episode of the TV show Constantine. So
I
I've
haven't seen that
I've
either. I
seen
know. Yes.
I've never, I didn't know it was a thing. I thought she was, to be honest, I thought she was a version, that all these things were a version of the movie The Grudge. Because I've seen The Grudge with the woman,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, all right, vengeful spirit. But apparently, in Japanese lore, there are a series of vengeful spirits,
Right.
just like in Judeo-Christian, um, I don't want to say lore or mythology, but Judeo-Christian religion,
Yeah.
angels have different choirs. There's different choirs of angels. Some of them are protective. Some of them are, avenging angels. Some of them are, angel of death.
They each
There's
have
different
different
choirs.
functions. Yeah.
They got different functions. Apparently, from what I've been able to learn about her, she fits in a particular choir of vengeful spirits. So she would be similar to the girl in the movie The Grudge. Apparently in Japan, if you die of a horrible or a tragic, you meet a tragic ending, the powers that be will give you a chance to walk the earth and get some revenge. And from what I read, there's a couple of different stories, but from when I read, what the one that seemed the most interesting to me was she was either the wife or the concubine of a very popular samurai.
Right.
And
It goes back.
samurai
It goes
was
back
gone
centuries. This legend.
centuries.
Yeah.
And he was gone a lot. And he comes home to find out that she was just a lonely, lonely woman, and she was hanging out and exploring different avenues with other gentlemen, and he got mad. So he got his samurai sword or a knife or whatever, and he cut her face. Wow.
Right.
Just like you said, the Joker, when he tells you, "Want to know how I got these scars and got all these different stories?"
Right.
Her too. So he cut her up, and apparently she died from that, but she came back. And that's why she gives that particular inquiry. Do
But
you dig me? Am I
that's what I didn't
sensitive?
mention. Right, you're right. She's always in the legend, and I didn't mention this. She's always carrying some sort of blade, like scissors or knife, or like some sort of like huge sharp instrument that she can cut people with. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's it. But you know what? With she, to me, is a little bit like Chucky. Because if I was, sitting here right now, it's late at night, because usually I do my videos or edit, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm in here and I'm typing on the computer and I'm doing stuff or whatever, and Chucky walked in the room with a knife and he's like, now the jig is up, I'd pick Chucky up by the back of his pants and take him outside and beat the crap out of him. He's 2 foot tall. He does not seem that imposing to me. She's a woman with a knife that apparently doesn't have any ghostly powers, except she can appear. She can run up on you, she can show
Right.
up, and she's got a knife, but I've got a kitchen and there's a whole bunch of knives down there, so I got a knife too.
But she's got to be super fast if she's going to be able to cut you like in a second without you. If she's just asking you a question, and then you depends what you answer. She's slitting your face open. So
Yeah, that's true. I read that if you told her, for some reason, because of, I guess, the time period where she died,
right.
She still has certain things in her head as how the world works. If she asks you the question and you tell her, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late for an appointment," she will move aside and allow you to leave. I read that and I
didn't
thought,
see that.
well,
I didn't
if
read
it's
that
that
one. Go ahead.
case,
Yeah. So yeah. What is
yeah,
it?
I saw that and I was like, well, if you can just say, "Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm late for an appointment," and she'll move, that's a courtesy that you wouldn't expect a monster to have, or a
Right.
ghost or demon or whatever she is. But so, and also I saw that, now I forgot the word, the French word for apple. We talked about French. And if you say that word to her and you get, I gotta look it up. The French word for apple, if you say that, it's also Greek, and it's I think Italian. They use a similar word. Now I gotta look it up. But if you say that to her, it will, or no, I'm not saying it to her. The other thing, if you say, "I got an appointment," but if you throw apples at her, then let me make sure I'm saying this right. She will stop to pick up the apples. Like, I read a legend about vampires that if you just happen to have a
Right.
bunch of knots and you threw the knots on the ground,
Right.
the
Yeah.
vampire has to stop and unravel the knots. So she has a similar hang up where you throw the apples on the ground. Let's just hope that you happen to be carrying a bunch of apples when she shows up on you. But the French word for apple, but it's spelled slightly different for Japanese, and it's spelled slightly different in Latin. I read it and it said that if you have this, it would help. So I was like, what's that word? It looks familiar. So I clicked it. You know how when it highlights in blue, I clicked it and it said in Italian, it's this. And I was like, it still looks familiar. And I clicked it again and it spelled it slightly different. It said in French, it's this. So I was like, okay, so if I've got an apple or a couple of apples for some reason, maybe she loved apples. I don't know what that's all about. But she's sort of like, again, she's sort of like Superman. if you got a little kryptonite, you got a little red sun, got a little magic, you might be able to get past Superman. With her, you need an apple, or make her give you some type of polite excuse to leave. But other than that, you're right. She's going to stab you in the face, and that's got to suck.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't even buy the average. That if you say like, how do you think I'm beautiful, and you just say just okay or average. First of all, like what? Let's go back. Let's go take this back a step. Even now, if your wife or girlfriend or whatever says, "Do you think I'm beautiful?" I think you're entering into a trap even now.
Yeah.
It's like, if you say, you're never going to say no. First of all, you're never just going to say no. And if you say yes, like, how so? Tell me. It's always going to be more. So, this, except now this woman has a blade, and you can't say. I don't even buy the saying it's you're average or you're just okay. What woman's going to be okay with that answer, especially one with a blade, a ghost with a blade? So I don't even buy that. But that's supposedly the way that you get out of it. I'm not buying it either.
I'll probably say, well, what do you think?
Right. That's not.
Reverse.
You know that's not going to
get cut, but
you know that's not going to work. You know that's not going to work. What do you think?
There's nothing you can say to a woman. If a woman says, do these jeans make me look fat? You give her an honest answer and say, no, it's the fat that makes you look fat.
Exactly.
She's not going to buy that. It's the truth, but
so here's the thing. So I was reading all that, the same thing as you, right? That she's wearing the mask. I read some things like, it's machete. Some people even say a machete or a scythe, a large pair of scissors. But, it's, first of all, if you see a woman well, maybe you don't see the blade, but if you see a woman carrying a blade, how close are you getting to them anyway? Anything.
Not close.
But she gets, and she targets, it said a lot of times she targets children, and it's, this is a creepy legend to me. This one, I didn't know about this one beforehand. I didn't know about a few of the things we did, but I did not know about this one beforehand. But it's like the same thing, just, a woman wearing a mask with a blade in her hand. Like, just again, how close are we getting? And even now, and this is straight out of Batman, like the original Batman, like wait till they get a load of me or something, with the blade.
Yeah.
So it's such, and I see where a lot of the hero stuff comes from. Maybe Joker was even taken from that. I don't know, but I see where a lot of the hero lore comes from. And a lot of the stuff that we've been doing can come from other things, other legends that they just incorporated into the heroes. But it's again, it's such a creepy thing to me just to see like a lone, solitary woman, like alone at night. They're like not scared of anything. Usually, you think like a woman in the dark, would be like frightened, and she'd be the one running off or something. But if a woman in the dark, at night starts approaching you, that's not a good sign to me.
Never. This is why a werewolf is my completely absolute of all monsters. Well, I can't say it's the scariest thing I know about, but it's the thing that I would assume would have the best opportunity to kill me. This woman, she questions incorrectly. Chucky only kills people if they know that he's actually Charles Lee Ray.
Right.
Candyman only kills people that are a part of his lineage or call him out. He is the ultimate keep my name out of your mouth guy. All of these different monsters are specific. Freddy only kills people from Elm Street, but like a werewolf, as soon as it changes, the next person that it sees, it's finger across the throat. She's like those other people. She only kills specific people. So with something like her, with a lore like her, it just seems like, what if she asked you the question and you just got up and walked away? You never answered her. Or, you just started, I guess she's going to get you. Because I also read that even if you give her the correct answer, she may still show up at your house later that night and get you in your sleep.
See, I didn't read that part. That's so she can show up other places, not just there. She might stab you later on, an hour or two from the time that you answer.
Yeah. One of the things that I read said that if she is unsatisfied with your answer, sometimes she would just let you go and then later wait until you're asleep. So I guess she's just, stalking you and being a perv and hanging out in your bedroom, watching you until you finish the late show. But as soon as you go to sleep, she's going to get you after your sleep, which again takes away from the scariness because I'm thinking, okay, you're a demon, but you got to wait until my eyes are closed, my back is turned, and I'm asleep before you jump me.
See, I'm also going to say, I'm going to go back to one thing, which I don't want to take too long. This is talking about one legend. Chucky scares the hell out of me. I know it's a doll. But that's precisely it, because it's so small, it can hide like anywhere. And that's I can get in a scene there in the movie that you can get in your car and it's hiding under the seat. Who looks under their seat when you're getting in the car? And then all of a sudden you strap your seatbelt on, and then all of a sudden the knife slices across your throat. So it's the same reason. Like I can deal with a lot of things. Like I'm okay. Like I see an iguana outside of there in Florida. We got lots of iguanas here. Like I'm all right with them. And if one got in the house, I'd kind of be like a little bit freaked, but I think I could deal with it. If a mouse gets in here, I'm done. If a rat or a mouse, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of the house, shrieking like a little girl on top of the table. Someone get it, someone get it. I can't deal with that stuff. It's like, because they're tiny and they could be anywhere. So that's the same thing I think with Chucky. But this, yeah, I read different things on this, that there are like different things in legends happening that people, I don't even know if they're true or not, but like they're talking about legends that have seen like a woman, and then like later on, like a soul woman. There are a lot of myths in Japan about, by the way, women just doing things. So
Yeah.
that all these children died after going, meeting this woman figure who encountered them. So it is such a creepy thing when you think that someone's targeting children. It's always, whenever you see children, it's always two things in a horror movie. It's either the child's alone and you feel scared because it's the child's alone going to places, or when you're walking and you see a child there, that freaks you out too, because children alone are creepy. Why is a child out? Why is a child there in the middle of nowhere just coming toward you? That would freak me out also. So and you said, I read there are a lot of places. You mentioned to some of them that they've appeared, that this Kuchisake-onna has appeared in video games, has appeared in movies. So it was a commonly known legend that I did not know about. Been in a lot of places already.
I apparently had seen her, but I didn't know it was her. I thought it was different people making a twist on like The Grudge. I had seen her before, but I didn't know that this was a completely separate entity. So now that I know, I'm like, wow, there's probably a few of those women, and all of these women ghosts have been wronged by men and come back. The Grudge, she wanted to date the guy, and the guy had a wife, so she died and came back, and this woman, her husband cut her face. Yeah, all these dudes are making these ghosts in Japan. What's up with that?
All the rest of us are suffering from something that one guy did.
One guy did this.
For eternity. But I was looking at some of these things. There's an animated film that's Pom Poko. And there's one I think just called Carved, the Slit-mouthed Woman. That's one I've never seen that either. So like I said, and it mentioned also The Ring. She's mentioned in the film The Ring. I didn't see that, but you were right. So she is mentioned, because she was fairly well known about this. And I shouldn't be surprised. Of course, a lot of these things were fairly well known. I just didn't know it, but now I think it's such a creepy thing that I do know about it.
Yeah, and to be honest, even though I think, she's got to sneak up on you at night. She's got to run into you in the dark. She usually attacks children. She doesn't seem like she's a very powerful demon. But at the same time, if I saw the image that's standing behind you right now, and it showed up at a birthday party where all of the lights were on and there was 100 people eating cake and there were up, I'm still going to freak out. I'm running out of there. I'm going to turn tail and run right out of there.
Well,
So if
she
I
wouldn't
saw her in
have
the
that
middle
yet,
of the
but she would
fight,
have the mask on though still. That's the thing.
yeah, she'd have the mask on, but I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm watching all of there's still people walking around with the COVID mask on and
Right.
everything. Not saying it's right or wrong, but they got the mask on. Now I'm going to be, looking at people a little bit more carefully. What you got under that mask?
Well, I think it's different if you're at the supermarket, you see all these people in the surgical masks. First of all, if everyone in the supermarket but you had a surgical mask, that would freak me out too. Like something's going on. you know, now, back then when we had full on COVID, you're used to it. It's seeing that now. If a lot of people still had masks on and I'm there, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Something's going on. But it all depends. If in a setting like that, then seeing a woman alone on a street at night, the surgical mask coming toward you. That's the difference. That to me is the scary part. I realize on these shows, every week I say, "Oh, this would scare me. That would scare me." So I'm the wrong person to go anywhere. But,
I, that's no good for me. I mean, she looks and she's smiling, she's happy because she's thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get you.
right, I'm going to kill this guy.
I'm going to
Slice
kill this
this
guy.
guy.
Yeah, this is going to be another victim."
So
So
yeah, this was a terrifying one for me, kind of. But I don't know, terrifying, but it is definitely it's a creepy one. It's really a creepy one. And just looking at, I saw. I don't want to mention too many because, we're probably going to do them. But if we get back to the beginning, Japan has a lot of creepy legends.
yes, yes, they do. I guess I guess a lot of countries have different lore, different things scare them. They got to try to think about what they see. You see something out of the corner of your eye, and you think it's one thing, and you turn, there's nothing
Right.
there. Maybe it was a ghost. You back in the old days, somebody has a seizure. They're like, oh, he's possessed by the devil. I had to describe things that were happening in ways that would make sense to them. So I guess a lot of people are going to have a lot of things, but Japan just seems to have a lot of dudes that are wronging women
But
and creating
well,
stuff.
I think it's just a lot of it. To me, I'm trying to psychoanalyze this. It's an island nation, and so maybe it's like that sense of seclusion and isolation. I don't know that's separate from so many other places. And then also it went through it went through nuclear bombardment or something. So they've experienced things already that are terrifying in real life. So it stands to reason. But the thing is, these legends came out beforehand. But that's kind of like scary to me. And plus, they have Godzilla. but then, Lisa, this was a good one. And I don't know. You have anything else to add to this one?
That's all I could find on her. I saw that she was either they I saw three different origin stories where it was either the samurai or she was messing around with someone's husband, which is similar to the first story,
Right.
except the wife of the husband found her, and she's the one that gave her the cuts. And I saw that for some reason it was a dental procedure, and the dentist for some reason cut
Oh,
her
you don't
up,
got to
and
say
that's why
that.
she wears the dentist mask.
Hmm.
So I saw that, but either way, it was still the cause of a guy is the
Right.
reason. So either the dentist, for whatever reason, decided to hurt her when he was in a chair, or the woman getting revenge because she was messing with her husband. It was a guy, or the samurai. But either way, some guy has made her nuts and cut happy. And I'd rather she came at me with a blade than the scissors. The scissors just seem, they're real stabby scissors. So
I think I kind of agree with you on that. I really do. I think it seems I don't know a blade, even though like a big machete, you don't have to be as close. But it seems like to me that I I'd see that and I'd run away. Ahead of time. If the scissors you might not see until they're right. She's right on top of you. So I think I might agree with you on that. It's too close, you know.
She could smack you with this hand, and then you're like, "Oh, I got smacked," and then all of a sudden,
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd rather have her have that machete than a pair of scissors.
It goes back now
And she's
to
gonna
Chucky. The little things are
stab
scary.
you in the face too.
So anyway, let us know what you guys think. If did you know about the legend? Did you see anything, you know, that we missed out for one? And what you know of? Have you ever encountered anyone that's seen it, or have you encountered it? But let us know your thoughts on Kuchisake-onna. And again, this has been Nightmares Before Bed. I'm Jonathan Rosen with Troy Cannon. And again, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you for watching Nightmares Before Bed. And now, it's time to shut the lights, close your eyes, and go to sleep. If you can.